sort are roots which cannot be expressed as rational numbers. Now, for instance, if I write something like this sort, if you use your calculator and check the value of this, it's going to give you 1.414213562. Now, you can try it wherever you are. If you use a calculator, trying to change it to fraction, it will be impossible. This number will keep on reappearing, which means that this number is an irrational number. That's what makes it a sort. Okay. But a number like 2/5, if you use a calculator, it will give you 0.4. With a calculator, you can easily change it or make it to become a fraction again. It will go back to 2/5. But this one can never go back to sort 2. It's impossible. It won't go back. Now, because this 2/5 can change to 0.4 and still go back to fraction, can make it become a fraction, it is called a rational number. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
Now, that's what sort is all about. Now, let's go to the introductory aspect of sort. How do we simplify sorts? Sorts can be expressed in their simplest forms or as square root of a single integer. In sort A times sort B is equal to sort AB. As simple as that.
Yes.
Sort A over sort B is same thing as sort A over B, where A and B are positive numbers, which means that A and B cannot be negative numbers. If it will be a sort, they must be positive. Now, key points of laws that you must know if you are going to solve this particular mathematics. Like I said, it's a very simple mathematics. Number one, you can only add sorts that have the same number or integer. Example, I can only add sort 2 plus sort 2, and it's going to give me 2 sort 2. This sort 2 is similar to x plus x, giving you 2x. In the same vein, if I have something like 3 sort 2 plus 2 sort 2, it's going to give me 5 sort 2, which is similar to 3x plus 2x, giving me 5x. You cannot add nor subtract sorts that has different numbers or integers. For example, you cannot add sort 3 plus sort 2. It's not possible. Anytime you see it, it will still give you the same sort 3 plus sort 2. And you cannot subtract sort 5 from sort 2 because they are not the same. It will still remain the same in your calculation as sort 5 minus sort 2. Very important point that you must take note of. You can only subtract, another important point, you can only subtract sorts that are of the same number or integer. For instance, if I have 6 sort 3 minus 2 sort 3, I simply say 6 minus 2, that will give me 4. So my answer will be 4 sort 3. This is similar to saying 6x minus 2x. It will give you 4x. This is the basic you need to know before you can go further in solving any calculation in sorts. Let's go further to more important things that you need to know about sort. Like I've said, that a sort is an irrational number. And so, what are these common irrational numbers? Let's look at some of them as key points so that when you're solving, it will help you to fish them out in any question given to you. You have numbers like 2, 3, sort 2, sort 3, sort 5, sort 7, sort 10, 11, sort 13, and so on. Now, these are all irrational numbers. I've told you what irrational number means. Those numbers that even in their decimal ends, you cannot change them to a fraction. They are called irrational numbers. Okay? Now, these are what you'll be looking at for in any sort question, trying to get these irrational numbers. Then another important thing you look out for is what are referred to as the perfect squares that are often found in some examination questions given to us. Well, perfect squares, like I give the common ones we see in our calculations every day. We have perfect squares like square root of 4, which is same thing as 2. Square root of 16. Now let me start from 9. Same thing as 3. Square root of 16, same thing as 4. Square root of 25, same thing as 5. Square root of 36, same thing as 6. Square root of 49, same thing as 7. Square root of 64, the same thing as 8. Square root of 81, the same thing as 9. Square root of 100, the same thing as 10. Square root of 121, the same thing as 11. Square root of 144, the same thing as 12. Square root of 169, the same thing as 13. I can go on and on. Let's take an example and see how we can be able to solve a sort. Now let's take this example. Express the following in their simplest form. In their simplest form. Express the following in their simplest form. I have sort 6, sort 8, sort 63. Let's try this first because we are still learning. We are still at the basic level. Let me solve A and see whether it is possible. Sort 6. Now, if you look at sort 6, how do you know whether sort 6 can be simplified further as a sort? There are simple procedures which you must follow as a learner. Step 1. What are the factors of 6? As a math student, ask yourself, what are the factors of 6? So you have the factors of 6, you have 6 times 1 is what? 6. 2 times 3 is also 6. That means the factors of 6 are 6, 1, 2, and 3. Now, if you look at this very carefully, out of these factors of 6, is there any one that is a perfect square? Ask yourself, you find out that there's no perfect square here. 6 is not a perfect square. It's not among the list I gave you before. 1 is not there. 2 is not there. 3 is not there. Invariably, sort 6 cannot be simplified. It remains the way it is. It remains sort 6 in any sort question. I usually give this question so I can show you whether a number is a sword or not a sword. This one is a sword that cannot, you can't go, anywhere you solve and still succeed, leave it as succeeds. Don't touch it again. But let's see sword 8. Like I told you, the rule is find out the possible factors. What are the factors? The factors in 8. Now let me start. The first one you can say 8 times 1 is what? 8. Let's use 4. 4 times 2 is what? 8. Then ask yourself this simple question at this level, because these are simple numbers. Is there any perfect square here? 8, 1, 4, 2. And the answer is yes. 4 is a perfect square. And because 4 is a perfect square, we're going to split this sword into those two factors, 4 and 2. So that what you have now will now be sword 8 is equal to sword 4 times sword 2. And because sword 4 is a perfect square, sword 4, which is square root of 4, is actually 2. What we just call square root of 4, because it's not a sword. Square root of 4 is actually equal to what? 2. So that means this number, this thing now is, the answer now is 2 sword 2, and you are true. That means to simplify sword 8, the answer will be 2 sword 2. Remember the procedure. Always ask yourself, what are the factors of that number? And I'll show you some examples for smaller number. I will still show you when you have larger number, how do you get the factors? These are the basic. If you can get at this point, you can solve any sort as you proceed. Okay, let's look at C, sort 63. Like I said, the process is what are the factors of 63? Well, I don't want to take much of our time. We know you can do that by using a simple method. Find the lowest number that can divide 63, which is 3. 3 divide 6, 2. 3 divide 1, that will give us 21. 3 can divide further. 3 divide 21 will give us 7. Then 7 divide 7, 1. So you now ask yourself, now, if you take a look at the number that is there, you have 63, you have 21, you have 7, and then you also 3, 3, 7. So how do I know? Now, first of all, look at the numbers here. Is any perfect square here? No. So you don't, since any perfect square, you don't bother about this side. You come to this side. Ask yourself, can I get the perfect square here? Yes, I can. 3 times 3 will give me what? 9. And 9 is the perfect square. So that means I will use 9 and 7. But 9 times 7 will give me 63 to split this sword now. So I'm going to change it to now become square root of 9 times sword 7. And square root of 9 is what? 3. So my answer is simply 3 sword 7. Finish. It's as simple as that. 3 sword 7 is the simplest form of sword 63. To higher numbers. Let's take a look at this number. Example D. Let's say we want to simplify the simplest form of sword 128. How do we split this so we can get perfect squares and get our answer without wasting time? The same process I've told you. Just write 128. Find the lowest number that can divide it, and 2 can do that easily. 2 divide 12.
6.
You sure? 6. 2 divided 8, 4, 64. 2 divided 64, 32. 2 divided 32, 16. 2 divided 16, 8. 2 divided 8, 4. 2 divided 4, 2. 2 divided 2, 1. Now, how do I know which number will I use? Because 4 is a perfect square, 8 is a perfect square, 6 is a perfect square, 5 is a perfect square, 4. Now, the simplest way to get this done without giving your head too much headache is just to find out the highest perfect square in this list. See the many of them? 64. So just take it. I like to circle it as my method. And then you ask yourself, where did I get the 64? After here. I got 64, right? Now, since I have 64 here, don't bother about this. The next number that is left here is 2. You see that? I used to use triangle to pick my 2. 2. 2 is here. That means 2 times 64 will give me 1, 2, 8. And 64 is a perfect square. So without much ado, this can be split into sod 64 times, square root of 64 times sod 2. And 64 square root is what? Simple. 8. So answer is what? 8 sod 2. Simple. So no matter how big the number is, this method works. Okay, let's go further to show you how simple this topic is. Now, let me use a big number like 200. I'm how to simplify sod 200. How would I do this? Okay, let me use my method in case I'm not sure of what to do. I will just write my 200. I said, I know that as some of you that are very good at mathematics, it is simple. You get it, but there are people that are not good enough. So the platform is for everybody. No matter how bad you are, you can solve sod. Now, 200 divided by 2, it will give you 100. 2 again, 50. 2 again, 25. 5, 5, 5, 1. Remember the rule? The highest perfect square here. Can you find anyone? Yes. 100 is the highest perfect square. And I found it here. And the next divisor before that was what? 2. And 2 times 100 is 200. And 2, so 2 is an irrational number. Okay, so my job is done. So I'll simply say, square root of 100. Remember, I normally put the one that will be mentioned number in triangular form so I don't miss it. 200 times 2. 100. Then square root of 100 is 10. So my answer is 10 sod 2. Simple. It doesn't matter how big the number is, I assure you, as long as you are watching this video, you can solve it. No matter how bad you are in mathematics, you can solve it. Now, let me take another number that may look so big and say, wow, can I do this? You can do it. Look at this number, sod 216. So, wow, 216. Let's try. The same method. All right, 216. 2 can divide, is it possible? Yes, 2 can divide it. Let's try. 2 divides 21 will give us 10. That's 20. 10, remember 1. Then that give us 8, 16. 2 divided 108 is 54. 2 divided 54, 27. 2 can divide again. So we now use 3. 3 divided 27, 9. 3 divided 9, 3. 3 divided 3, 1. Okay, remember the rule? Oh, let's look at that. The highest perfect square here. If you look at it carefully, 3 is not a perfect square. The perfect square here is 9. No, 9 is a perfect square. Because 3 times 3 is 9. Okay? Then, where do I get this 9 from? After this 3. So, since there's no perfect square here, and I need at least 2 perfect squares or thereabout, or more numbers. So, I will now get a perfect square from here. Yes, I have 2, 2, 2, 3. So, I can get a perfect square like 2 times 2 will give me 4. And 4 is also a perfect square. I use number because it's a higher number, and some students that are very poor in mathematics may get stuck, but it is simple. Just find another perfect square. 2 times 2 is what? 4. Remember, I got this one from this point. Then what I have left from here up, because I'm using only from here up now, this side, is 2 times 3. So sorry, I mark it triangle. It should be a circle, because it's a perfect square. Circle is 4. Then 2 times 3 is 6. That's the remaining number now. I need it 2. But I'm going to put it in a triangular form because it's an irrational number. It's not a perfect square. Now, let me now represent what I've done here. Before I go for it, let me repeat it again. After my division, I checked all this. The only perfect square here is 9. So I circled 9. And because I circled 9, I checked where I got the 9 from. I marked this so I don't make mistake. Then all the other divisors that are here, those numerators that divided it for me, which is 2, 2, 2, 3. I would look for how I can get perfect square from them. Because there are many of them. But this one I have only one, so I won't bother myself about that. So it became my irrational number. But since I have many of them here, I can get a perfect square from it. So, which is 2 times 2 give me what? 4. 2 times 2 times 2 give me 8. And 8 is not a perfect square. So, I'll stop at 2. The remaining 2 and 3, I'll multiply them together to get 6. And this 6 become an irrational number, and it's sort 6. So, let me now represent what I've done here, this side. So, how I will do that? I will start with my perfect squares and end with the sword. So I can start with this. So 216 is equivalent to square root of 4, this 4 now, times square root of 9, this 9 now, times square root of 6, this 6 that is here. I hope you can see what I did, so I don't mess it up. Okay, now perfect squares are here, and then the sword is here. Then this thing now will now give me, I will now have, root of 4 is what? 2 times, root of 9 is what? 3. And then times what? Sword 6. So finally my answer is 2 times 3 is what? 6. So my answer is 6 sword 6. Finish. So it doesn't matter if you follow this procedure, no matter how poor academically you are, you can wriggle out of it. It's a promise. Okay, let me try lastly. Let me try sword. Now what number? Try sword 108. Sword 108. Simplify it. What are you going to do? Remember the process? The same process. Just draw your line. Write 108. Use 2 to divide. That will give me 54, 2, 27, 3, 9, 3, 3, 3, 1. What's the highest perfect square here? 9. Automatically 9. And then this side, since I have so many numbers here, don't cross where you got it. Don't use this side. This side is off. Then check from here up. Can I get any perfect square here? Yes. 2 times 2 is what? 4. So I have only 3 left. The 3 now becomes my sword. Triangular form. This one will be in circular form. So let me now represent it very well. That means sword 108 is equal to square root of 4 times square root of 9 times sword 3. And that will give me 2 times 3 times sword 3. And the final answer, 2 times 3 is what? 6. That is 6 sword 3. Simple. Simple. So you can do it. It's for everybody. No matter how bad you are in mathematics, this platform is for you. Always subscribe. You will get mathematics made easy in the simplest form.